this 2018 quarterback draft class, right? If you think about 2020, it was a little shaky, right? And this quarterback class was Sam Darnold, you had Baker Mayfield, you had Josh Allen, you had Lamar Jackson, right? Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, they panned out early, right? And both of them are league MVPs. Now you have Sam Darnold, who's a Super Bowl MVP, and then you have Baker Mayfield, who's playing really good football. But Sam Darnold is the guy that's won the Super Bowl first. I want to ask you, who is going to be the next guy to win a Super Bowl from that 2018 draft class out of Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson?
Well, I'm going to follow the trend of trusting this entire whole and cohesiveness of what I've seen. And maybe it'll surprise you, but I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield. And that's because I trust Jason Light. I trust the
Mhm.
coaching staff, and I trust that they put a good team around him and in that division to be able to, if Baker learns the same lesson that Sam Darnold did, which is I don't have to be Superman. I just have to be a good quarterback in this league. And if I have my running game going, the weapons I have, and my defense playing well, I can win a Super Bowl. And I think, unfortunately, when I look at all three organizations, two, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are big question marks. I can't just assume that things are going to be the same when they both fired longtime, very good head coaches to two unproven guys who I'm not going to automatically assume are going to be superstars. Because guess what? Time would tell you that's not true. Most times, that's not the case. It's very hard to find a John Harbaugh and a guy like Sean McDermott. Those guys don't grow on trees. So, as much as from an individual standpoint, talent standpoint, yeah, they might win an MVP more so, right? You might see Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson win another MVP. But I think as far as Super Bowls go, one team is good infrastructure wise, and the other two had made big changes. And I'm a little concerned about what it's going to look like coming out of that.
Yep, you know they say great minds think alike. Paige DeMarco, you didn't surprise me at all because I was going with Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks, and I remember in September, in October, and we talked about the Tampa Bay Bucks potentially being a top 2, 3 team in the entire NFL. What happened was injuries to the Tampa Bay Bucks, right? But you look at a fully healthy Tampa Bay Bucks squad, and I look through this roster, right? You have Tristan Wirfs at tackle, right, an All-Pro tackle. Then you look at this wide receiver core is probably top 3 or 4 wide receiver core in the entire NFL. When you talk about a healthy Mike Evans, a healthy Chris Godwin, you have Emeka Egbuka,
Puka.
right? You have McMillan, Jalen McMillan. Then you have more young guys, Tez Johnson emerging, and then in the backfield you have Bucky Irvin at the running back position.
Yep.
This is a very talented football team that next year people need to be on the lookout for because offensive firepower, they could get the job done. And I agree with you with making the points about consistency, right? This seems like a team that I trust from a consistency perspective, right? The Baltimore Ravens, we don't know what's going to happen with them. And the Buffalo Bills, I'm sorry, the Cinderella story, the rooting for and pulling for the Buffalo Bills,
Over.
for me personally, I know for you also, and for a lot of NFL fans, we're kind of tired of the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's time to just put up a shut up, get the job done, or leave us the hell alone, right?
Yeah.
But the feel good story, I think everybody's over it now. You're not the underdog anymore. And I told you, it's only but so long that you can go from the underdog to the disappointment. And that's where the Buffalo Bills are at this very moment.
And I think the other part of this is what we just talked about in the topic before, the general manager position. I know who
Yep.
Jason Light is, and I have
Mhm.
seen his drafts. I've seen where he has been able to hit across the board and put good rosters together each and every year. And the other thing is when you look at the mirroring similarities between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, these are two
Mhm.
guys that are on team friendly deals, which allows the roster around them to be very good. So they can add pieces in free agency. They can add other pieces where the Baltimore Ravens are already worrying about the contract conversation that they have to have with Lamar Jackson. Josh
Mhm.
Allen's already being paid a lot of money. That means the roster in Tampa, just like the roster in Seattle, has more flexibility to add better players around their quarterback to then go win and make a Super Bowl run. So that also has a lot to do with my faith in the fact that Baker Mayfield could be the next redemption story who's hosting a Lombardi.
Yep. And you want to know what's the more ironic thing, Paige DeMarcos? Both Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield were on the Carolina Panthers together at one point, right? And I believe that Baker Mayfield was a third string center, a holder, a special teams guy, right? And now you're talking about one guy winning a Super Bowl, and we both believe that another guy is on his way to winning a Super Bowl soon. So that just goes to show you how trends change, how things change overall. But go ahead, what you
I
got
was
to
going to
say?
say, it just goes to prove my point that owners get themselves in trouble Okay. And
Yep.
good ownership and stability matters. Owners, the best advice we have for you is hire good people and get the F out of the way. Because none of you, not a single one of you, is qualified to make football decisions. And I don't know why you own things and then you decide to let people that are more qualified than you not make those choices. It will never make sense to me. So hopefully you learn to get out of the way, but we know that that's not going to happen. So my wish for 2026 will probably not come true.